Yeah, we're back. We're fucking back. The McAllister Hours. I did not know if this podcast is ever going to restart. So it's really awesome. We have Suni Boi, who's been on the podcast before over a year ago. Here with your tribe, your people.
It's awesome to be a part of revamping this, dude. Last time I don't remember too much of it, but it was an awesome experience. What I do, like fragments and pictures of what's there, it was awesome. It was a good time.
Well, I mean, and I don't know if you mind if we reveal this, but during the podcast, you came in tripping.
Dude, I was astronomically geeked out.
You mind putting your microphone up?
Oh, yeah. I was astronomically geeked out. It was insane. I took 5 tabs of acid, and like for like a normal trip, I'll take like 3. That's like what if I'm going to sit down and I'm gonna trip, that's what I'll do. So I had taken 5 tabs of acid and then a hero's dose of shrooms because
that's what 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5 grams of shrooms.
Jesus.
And I feel like I lasted like an hour into the actual recording before I
think it was 45 minutes.
Yeah, I was like, so I need to sit down.
Because I brought up your prison time, and then I think that fucking just sent you going.
And
down.
I can remember that like I wasn't even like even subconsciously like I wasn't even worried about that because I don't mind talking about it. It's a very open part of like who I am, but English just evaporated from my body. I could no longer speak no words, man.
Well, we had a guy come through one time, and he like beforehand, I think I told you this, but like he had come in like ripping dabs, and he said like before we started, he's like, I feel like I'm on a spaceship. I'm like, okay, we're gonna see.
He already had the dab sweats before sitting down to record. Yeah. See, I was like starting to come into it by the time.
Wow,
I got,
really?
I literally ate the shrooms in the car like before getting out to come knock on the door to come in, and I had already been sitting on the acid for probably like 20 minutes. So everything like took off when I got inside, and it was like starting up, and my most like coherent thought was like, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm like, this is really what he does. Like, this is like how I am with my music, and I just couldn't take myself seriously. And then I forgot how to speak English. It was rough as shit. And then I gave your dog the best scratches of its life.
Yeah,
for the rest of the time I was in there.
That's hilarious. You know, I had a friend over like 3 weeks ago, and he was just talking about like, dude, do you realize how insane it is that you just let strangers into your house for like 3 years just to like do podcasts?
I couldn't even fucking imagine, dude. I feel some type of way sometimes about even just having people like I know at my house, like,
right?
Because sometimes I'm a fucking mess. So people come over, I'm like, damn, my environment kind of.
Oh yeah, well, I mean that's kind of the thing. Like, as inviting as I am for the podcast, like any other time, I'm like, you know, I'm a fucking anarchist, you know, of course. Like I'm fucking, this is my property. You're not fucking like, if I'm fuck with you and I don't want you here, like you're not going to be
Get
here.
off my lawn.
Yeah, exactly. Like even when like family members or like really good friends come in and they like act like they own the place, it always pisses me off. Yeah. Not even like they necessarily own it, but they're just
too comfortable.
They're too comfortable. Yeah. And they're it's to the point where they're like making executive, just like, what if it's with your animals or whatever, and you're like, hey man, like, you know, I don't really, can you not?
Yeah. Or like, hey, can you get your dog off the couch from by me? I don't like your dog on your couch by me in your house. Like,
yeah.
That's just insane. Like, you came over here knowing I had a dog.
You know, one time when I was living in South Dakota, it was right before I got my divorce. And this guy who actually ended up fucking my ex later, so I don't feel bad at all. But we were at the bar, and he felt like, or he, you know, we were all really drunk, and I was telling him about acid because we had like a whole sheet at the fucking apartment. So he was like, we got that shit for $150, man. It was crazy.
Fucking come up.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
It was wild. But we gave, so he was like, yeah, I want a trip. So we went to my apartment, and I gave him a tab, and then my brother-in-law who lived with us, he was smoking out of a bong, and like the guy who like took the acid was like telling him to like, can he not? And like he got fucking pissed. He was like, the fuck, you're my fucking house, motherfucker. You don't tell me not to smoke.
That's crazy.
And like he's like about to like go to a trip, right? And I'm sitting there, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I cannot let this man like be at the bar, be out in public and have like a freak out, or he's gonna like something's gonna come back on me, right?
Hell yeah.
So I took the initiative, and I was on acid too. Like I had taken the tab too, so I took the initiative to like walk him to his house. And then like apparently he just had like a psychotic break and like meltdown and shit. I don't even think I saw him after that.
He just disappeared.
Well, I mean, he was in the town, but it was a small, I think it was like 2,000 people or something, like dinky. So I mean, he was definitely around, but I just never.
He tried not to be around though, like in a town that small.
Yeah,
that really fucked up something in his brain. He's like, Coleman is evil. He's like, I can't see him ever again.
Well, and there were only 2 bars in that town, and it was almost like a rivalry.
Yeah.
No, they're like, you better not fucking, like, I better not. I mean, we would go to both bars, but it was kind of like, you're at that bar.
Yeah.
Really?
We're all over here.
Yeah.
We're all over here drinking the good shit. There's the town my parents live in is small as shit too. It's like 4,000 people, and they used to have like 3 bars, the same type of thing where they would like compete, and then one of them just fucking collapsed one day, just fell in on itself. Like,
like physically?
Yeah, like they got like the city squares, so they're like several hundred-year-old Old West buildings, like brick buildings, and it just was never maintained and fucking collapsed on itself. And then they left it there for like a year. Like the city didn't do shit about the building. They just let it fall into their fucking street. And there was like couches and like the second room saloon shit. Like the furniture was just hanging, like falling out the building. They left it there for like a fucking year and a half before they like even tore the rest of the building down. Then they're like, oh, we're gonna do like a pocket park right here. And they just fucking put down some sod and a shitty rock with some words on it and a fucking bench.
Oh, that's it? Wow. That's not even cement. Jesus.
Great for old white people who can't walk far distances without having to take a seat, because that's the midway point for everybody.
Well, and the gravel's easier on their feet, so they don't want people like being like, I would like to go to this establishment, but I can't because
my osteoporosis.
Yeah, small towns are something. In my town I grew up in, Orange City, they didn't have any bars in the town.
That's crazy. Where did you grow up
Orange City.
Orange City.
It's like it's
in Iowa?
Yep.
They don't have any fucking bars? That's insane.
It's like it's like a super Christian cult town.
Oh, that checks out. That checks out, dude. That tracks. The town my
Reformed,
parents live
I think.
in, the town my parents live in has like 17 church buildings. For like a population of 4,000.
Like 17.
Three of them are like Russian churches, and they have service every single day of the week. Every single fucking week. And only like 2 of them are abandoned. So there's 17 functioning service holding churches in a town of 4,000 people. That's ridiculous.
See that. Do you mind doing that? Do you mind if we can talk about that. I can just edit it out later. But do you mind looking up what 4,000 divided by
15?
4,000 divided by 17 is 17, you said?
2 of them are like abandoned.
Oh, okay. So 15. Okay.
And actually, one of the abandoned ones, there's weird cult shit that goes on in that town too. So there's been like animal sacrifices in that church.
What's the number?
So I've got 235 and a third.
For every 200 people, they have a church. Yeah. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense if like everybody's going to church, but still like everybody has to go to church.
I ain't gonna lie.
Which they probably do.
I think that's the same exact statistic as Uruguay has sheep to people. Like a 3-to-1. I know sheep in Uruguay vastly outweigh the human population. Let me see that number real quick, dude.
Uruguay. Let's see the sheep population of Uruguay.
I promise you, that's hilarious. It's like 3-to-1. It's ridiculous. Of Uruguay.
Where the fuck even is Uruguay?
South America. By Paraguay.
There's sheep out there? That's hot. That's a hot environment for sheep to be in.
Oh, like you're like you are you. It's URUGUAY.
I think that's right. Yeah.
You're gay. are you wait you
Damn,
are
calling
you.
him out right off the bat.
You are you GUAY. Oh no, dude, it's a you.
No, just a you.
You are
you started
you.
with me. This is his first day.
I think it's UAY. Oh, I got it wrong.
6.5 million.
Holy shit,
See, dude, it's insane. They got so many sheep out there.
dude! Isn't that like twice what the U.S. population is?
I think so.
What's the U.S. I'm sorry, we're making you work today. What's the U.S. population?
I think it's about 5 billion. 335.
Oh, okay. So way more, but
But how many sheep do we have in the United States?
not 6 million.
No way we have fucking 6 million. 7 million?
Oh wait,
Okay.
no, 56 million. Or no,
Million. Okay, so we've got 1 million less sheep than Uruguay.
wait. Scroll up. The number of sheep in the U.S. has been decreasing since the peak of 56 million in 1945. And
56 million?
there's been as of January 1st, 2024, there is 5.03 million sheep and lambs.
That's insane. So Uruguay's still got some sheep.
I wonder if it's because they started using cows for burgers. Sheep in original 1945 burgers.
Really?
Wait, what was that? Sheep or what?
Cow population.
He said that sheep was one of the original meat they used for burgers.
I mean, they
Really?
use horses.
Or horses.
Oh,
Horse meat was like a de facto for like a
Horse
lot of...
meat was a big thing.
When travel by boat was a big thing. Salty ass horse meat is easy to preserve, so people was eating horse meat.
Counted for in 1940.
So 12.5 million beef cows in 1920. And how many are there now? Does it say? Oh, that's 1945. Okay. I mean, you know your shit.
87.2 million.
Damn. Yeah, we be eating that beef.
We be eating the fuck out some beef.
Dude, I eat a cheeseburger probably 2 or 3 times a week. So
Honestly,
I'm definitely to blame for that.
I don't feel like I indulge that often, but it's probably like once a week because I love me a good burger, dude. A good burger is hard to fucking beat. Like, it's easy to make too. Like, even if you're not going out and getting it, like, how fucking hard is it to throw some frozen beef puck on a fucking piece of hot metal for 20 minutes and slide it in between some bread?
I need to make more burgers at home, but I'm too fucking lazy, dude.
My my girlfriend's dad is like a fucking meat connoisseur. So like he doesn't he has like a membership to like a meat locker. So he'll he'll like sit there and craft burgers out of like the biggest fattest fucking Angus cow this side of the Mississippi or whatever because he can, god damn it. He's like the type of dude that buys shit that only has 2 ingredients in it. Like he's gonna kill himself if he fucking imbibes anything other than exactly what the fuck the product is supposed to be.
Super white.
Mega white. His name's Jerry Eugene. And he's a junior, so that's like really the kicker. And that's super white.
The junior. Yeah, that's such a white thing.
Oh yeah,
I feel like
he's got like the matching aesthetic with like the biker-esque skull tattoos, and the beard, and the short hair. So he really does look the part of a supremacist for sure. But he likes me, and obviously I'm racially confused, so that's a point for him, I guess.
I mean, we both are, really. I mean, look at me.
Hey,
I identify as a black man now.
Yeah. I think I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a clip talking about that. You know what? I think it's 100%, and you're right. You know what? If we've got kids shitting and pissing in litter boxes, I think it's 100% viable opportunity for me to identify as a legal aged black man California resident, so I can just use recreationally. Because if I don't know, I'm not hating, bro. Like, if you feel some type of way, you feel some type of way.
But like, you don't need to put litter boxes in public schools.
Putting litter boxes. This is why we need to bring back bullying. I don't know who's responsible for the anti-bullying campaigns that really swept through in the 2000s, but that shit needs to be brought back, dude.
You know, I remember when I was in high school, I took this education class. It was like a class to like learn how to teach.
Business ed.
No, like it was a class to like because I was interested in like being a music teacher, so it was like a class like designed to like figure out how to like teach essentially.
Teaching you how to teach.
Yeah, and I remember I think it's called Bully. I think it's just called Bully. It was like this documentary from like the mid 2000s, and I remember like they were like following this kid, and he was like the victim, right? But like there was a scene where like he's bothering this other kid on the bus. And then like the other kid like flips and like punches him or some shit. And then like he's like labeled as the bully. And I'm like, but that kid was being annoying as fuck.
Yeah. People would be
maybe
like,
he should have got hit.
Yeah. Like people, and I understand entirely like the system of preying on the weak leads to like the weak preying on the weaker.
Yeah.
But like, if you were acting shitty, you're acting shitty. Like, no one forced you to, because you were treated bad, turn around and do some other shit. So, yeah, if he was acting like a piece of shit and he got hit for it, man, that's it. Take that L, bro. Don't act out because other people are shitty to you, for sure.
Yeah.
That's like kids who got beat their entire lives, beating their fucking kids because that's just it for them.
Sure. Well, and that's like a sad reality, right? But, like, I think the thing where people misunderstand is like I think like intervening in that just makes the problem way worse.
Yeah.
Like I don't think like and the sad thing is like a lot of people who do try to do that or advocate for that, like they do have like they come from a genuine place, right? Like they have genuine emotion. They genuinely like feel this way for people, and that's why it's so much harder to be like, yeah, you know what? I don't really, like, agree.
And they're caring enough to like go out and make sure they're trying to do something about it too. Like a bunch of people will care about something, and then just that's it. That's where they'll stop. They care about it, but they're not going out and like pushing the advocacy for non-bullying and shit. So that's super cool, and it comes from a good place. But we need bullying.
No, I don't know about that. I tend to be middle ground. I don't think like we should advocate. I know I was just kind of going back to what I just said, but like I don't think like in all seriousness, like I don't think like bullying is good, but I also think it's just good to give. It's I think where I'm coming from with it is like it's better to give people that awareness. Yeah, that like even though maybe it's not like a good thing that this is happening, but like. This shit's gonna happen regardless. Like if you're gonna be that way, bullying, this is gonna happen.
Yeah. Bullying is like a big blanket term. I think it should be like societal guidelines. Like you go outside of these guidelines, people are gonna ridicule you because it's weird or not normal. But even then, that's like going into what is normal because no two people are like type shit. People will say that for till the end of time.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think that kind of goes into my point a little better. Is like you know, like society needs to have standards, right? They need to have like I don't even want necessarily say guardrails, but like some kind of borders to like what is morally acceptable.
Checks and balances.
Exactly. Like like if I start dating a 12-year-old, like that would be a problem, right? Yeah. Like regardless of what the law is, people's
society as a whole deems that not okay.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
I shouldn't say as a whole.
So there's some countries. They're a little behind, but you know.
France is lagging a little bit.
What's their
age of consent in France is 14, and I think it's the same in Canada.
Because Canada's 16.
The French is it?
Yeah,
I think
so. Why don't you Google that?
I think maybe it is 16, but it's not like they don't have like the 16 to whatever age restriction that like the States has, because it's like 4 years with parental consent that you can have relations with a 16-year-old, and it's a little edgy. I don't know. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like if someone's grown ass adult parents is like, yeah, this other grown ass adult man can fuck my young daughter, then I don't know. I'm not going to tell them how to raise their kids. That's not a choice I would make. I don't want my daughter in high school bringing home some dude that graduated 3 years ago. It's a bad look.
Yeah, right. Well, and that's the sad reality too, is you can only control what you can control.
Yeah.
I think that's just it's a big thing in therapy. I feel like, right, is like learning to like let go and just be like, you know, like there are these situations, there are these shitty people out there. These things are gonna happen.
Like with NA and AA to like the responsibility to accept the things that I cannot change, or I don't know. I never completed NA. Accept the things I cannot change, and something blah blah whatever else is what they say at their meetings.
Oh,
Like,
AA.
both of them, they have the same phrase. Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous. They'll say like,
Narcotics Anonymous.
Yeah, they'll be like, give me the strength to, I don't know, basically deal with the shit that I can't change.
Yeah, exactly. Have you done the programs before?
I did Narcotics Anonymous when I was in prison, because everything that you did for like self-betterment made your chances of getting parole better.
Yeah, by the way, I think this is the perfect time to light up that blunt.
Shout out to Narcotics Anonymous. For real.
Damn, that's impressive, my friend. I feel honored.
Dude, I love the opportunity to be able to come on your show.
Yes.
It's just such an awesome thing for me. Like, being able to partake in other people's crafts, how like I go and have people feature on my songs is cool as fuck.
Hell yeah.
Because people don't be hitting me up to like ask me to do this type of stuff. I don't know. I just be working. Like, I be in my own lane. I make my music. I send it to like the same 3 people that I make songs with, and that's it. That's all I do.
Yeah, exactly. But sorry, you said you were in Narcotics Anonymous. What was your experience like in that?
For the most part, people in prison who go to betterment classes are usually weird old white guys that go there to like drink the coffee. And because like the vast, like, overall, the vast majority of like a Christian population in prison is just pedophiles who think God will not send them to hell for diddling kids.
Oh yeah, right.
And I mean, like,
I love that.
I mean, like, and if you know what, if they want to study from like the original Judaic texts where God impregnated a young ass girl, then that's, you know, cool.
Really?
Well, I mean, so like,
are you talking about just with the Virgin Mary?
Yeah,
or?
the Immaculate Conception, the Virgin Mary, because she was, I think, texts point towards like 14 something. But throughout the Bible, they document marriages between rulers, like grown-ass men, and children who are like 9, 10, 11 years old.
Oh, yeah. Well,
teenagers, preteens, stuff like that.
That's always one of the most disturbing things about Christianity to me, is like there's such a weird focus on children, like either in like the text or like the the participation, like where they're like trying to maneuver, like how to, you know, that's their way to educate, right?
Yeah, and then it's like, I think it was on more than one occasion, but it's one occasion for sure that God was like, okay, you're a faithful follower, I need you to sacrifice your fucking son to me.
I got you.
He's like, you need to sacrifice your son. Like, that's crazy. But I think it's also a big part of why pedophiles gravitate towards Christianity. Because I mean, and even though that's like an aspect of like other cultures' history, like Islam, I think Muhammad's first wife was 9 or something.
I've heard that.
Like, that's it's all throughout religion. It's all throughout history. Pedophilia is a pretty recent like idea to be like shunned by society.
Yeah,
because it's up within like the last 100 years, hundred years, that it's almost a societal norm. Because even in the Old West, you had families who were marrying off their 12, 13-year-old daughters to a 30-year-old farmer because he had land.
Yeah, well, and that's another really nefarious aspect of it, is like, and that's like where like the anarchist in me is like, that's always a potential, right? And like just something that is going to happen regardless, right? Like people are going to like use their children as sexual favors to get whatever, right? Like to get whatever exchange or purchase or whatever that they're getting out of that.
And
like,
now in a society that where like you can't do that for land that's going to benefit your family in the future, people are just doing it for like fucking drugs, or like the financial stability of having a boyfriend around that you turn your eyes away because he fucking pays all your shit.
Literally just a simple like you know, handshake and a nod, like, hey, if I'm in fucking trouble, if I'm in deep shit, you're gonna help me because, you know, I'm giving you my fucking daughter or whatever, you know what I mean, or vice versa, you know.
If my rent's due, I let you fuck on my son. So.
Dude, have you ever seen Chinatown?
No.
Ooh, that movie's like really oh yeah, I'm sure you love that movie, Blue.
I've actually never seen it.
Really?
No.
God, disappointing.
I don't know why you went to images.
Yeah,
like
right.
It wasn't going to show you a market. Not to critique him or anything either, is I don't think he spelled a single fucking thing right so far. Like first try. Not to rag on you, bro.
You know, he's still doing way better than the other producer we had.
Yeah, shit. That's why he's here and he's not.
Yeah. Well, no, he's. Oh yeah. Just pull up this trailer. Fuck yeah. I just watched this like 2 weeks ago.
What's it about?
It's about a private eye in LA who's and put this in full screen, please. Who's investigating like the water drought, and like this guy gets murdered, and it just leads to a whole string of
Los Angeles, 1937.
It's like a classic noir film.
Is it about like the Oriental gangs in California in the time?
No, it's more about like a corrupt businessman who like people who like own the water, and like it's actually based on semi-true accounts like of what happened in LA.
Since you agree with me that we've never met before,
with that industry.
you also agree with me that
People who own the water rights.
Yeah. Well, like, and then just having government involved, and then just making fucking shit tons of money.
my lawyer does.
You know
I think
what I mean?
remember my dad talking about this stuff a little bit. Like people who like owned the lands where the springs or the reservoirs were on were restricting access to the city.
Or you find out what happened.
And they really fucking needed it.
Well, and the thing with this, how that relates to that, is in this movie. Spoiler alert. The guy who dies and the guy who's his business partner that like owns all the water. That chick right there.
Did you have affairs?
Mr. Gideon,
That's the daughter of the businessman, and like
when your husband died?
the father raped her, and she had his kid.
Whose father?
Her father.
Her father? Holy
Raped
shit.
her.
I don't see anyone.
She had his kid.
Mr. Gideon.
And then like
fucking
he's
crazy.
trying to fuck that kid.
Did she have just her daughter or a son?
A daughter.
Okay, that's crazy.
So then that guy is trying to fuck her daughter then. So
that's
her
insane.
daughter. And in the end he does.
And
because-
what's even crazier is that's some real life shit too that happens. People
Dude,
just
there's some
grooming
dark-
generations of like their children, their nieces, their grandkids.
you can pause
it's
this.
insane.
But you know, that's people like kind of dog on me for this, but like that's one of the really positive things I have found in 2024. And people say like, oh, why is this positive? Like the exposure of like all the pedophilia in the industry with all this stuff the list of people that have been revealed this year, it's mind-boggling. Jay-Z now, like people that like, you know, you don't necessarily want to see in that position, people who are like good artists and like
In the
have
eyes
done
of the
things.
public, they are popular. Like they're celebrities. They're
Exactly.
they're people who other people inspire and like who they strive to be. And that's not it, bro. You see that 50 Cent was wilding the fuck out on Instagram as soon as Jay-Z's allegations came out.
Really?
Dude, it was fucking hilarious. He so like literally it was like the day after the allegations had like come out, Jay-Z and
See if you can
Beyonce
find this.
Jay-Z and his Beyonce like dressed up and went to the fucking Lion King like premiere or whatever. And 50 fucking posted a picture of them all fleek as shit at this event, public event. And his caption was, "Hey B, they say I raped a girl. Come on, we gonna watch the Lion King." Oh my fucking god.
What do you post this about?
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Yeah, I mean, you could.
You find that shit on images.
Yeah, just go to YouTube, bro. Just go to YouTube and try to find that.
Find a YouTube beef YouTuber.
Yeah. You know, I do appreciate people like 50 Cent who have been like from the get-go calling out this shit. People like him,
Yeah.
Eminem. I don't know. Well, like I know, and that's kind of the weird thing too, though, is like I've heard Snoop Dogg's kind of involved in some of this shit.
There's an accusation about
That would hurt my
Jay-Z
heart.
Yeah, that would.
and
I
the
can't believe
team
Cuz would be
Right.
like
And we
involved
were
in shit like
speaking
that.
about just the statement.
Right.
The statement you were saying you felt like that was calculated.
That was that.
Yeah, 50's a real motherfucker.
You can tell it's written
Like,
by a lawyer.
There's a reason he
There's a
got
point
shot
where it kinda
like
gets
9
aggressive. It's
fucking
like, it says,
times.
like you're gonna find out.
That shit's crazy.
That's respectable as fuck. That's
Like,
and
an attorney.
people hate that I say this. That's what he has in
publicist
like common. Not just him in particular,
This
but
is
like
on
that's an attribute that Trump has as well. That
it
Trump
says,
will
I
say
don't know
like
what's
speak
going
his
on,
mind, and
but
then
are
he'll
we still
stand on
gonna
what he
have the
said
Super Bowl
because he
at
believes in it,
Yeah,
and that's
I'm
an
asking
admirable trait in anybody.
You know, I'm just trying to figure out if we're still doing everything the way. Because look, they will fall back, but they like the NFL.
Yeah. Fucking.
Cat Williams too.
Well, and that's kind of the thing. Like he was really ahead of the game. Right at the top of the year. He's like, this is the year, and he fucking called it. Dude,
y'all is getting exposed.
if there was a lottery on like how many fucking people, like if they at the beginning of the year somebody had just like picked a number and be like, okay,
We should do
off of
the,
Cat Williams, this is how many people are gonna get busted.
We should do a celebrity pedophile bingo card. Who do you think it's gonna be next month?
Oh yeah, this is a classic. Fuck it. Let's play it.
Harbor any resentment to any of these
Blue
entities
knows what I'm
because
talking
I
about.
can't be jealous. I've never seen them have anything that I ever wanted. If you sign up for their program, you get a light skin,
Thank you.
weird face wife that never do an interview. Listen, in 20 years, won't do an interview. Nobody's ever talked to her.
He's so
and that she's never been interviewed anywhere. And now, understand, I'm not talking about one person. What I just told you applies to 7 people. How they all end up with that. That's part of what you get. I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked
Did
about
they ever
Michael Jackson,
release
when I
a
talked about
full
R. Kelly,
client list for
they
Epstein?
canceled
Or is
me
that
for
still
these
something that they
things,
danced
because
around?
Why would you talk
Nope.
about another black
That's all I
dude?
want for
Race
Christmas,
is not
or
what
wanted
it
for
is.
Christmas.
It's
Never
the
gonna
other
happen,
side.
dude.
It'll never happen. Until those people die, it's
Yeah.
gonna be like 60 years in the future where we figure out finally who was all on Epstein's island diddling kids. My dad's a big conspiracy
pause it.
theorist.
Oh yeah,
He did.
my dad's the complete opposite.
Yeah, he's a fucking square.
He's a judge, dude.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, you regret coming on here and doing
the
this
honorable
now.
Mr. McAllister. That's fucking awesome.
I'm
No,
named after. I'm named after him too. I'm a junior.
fucking Honorable Coleman McAllister.
Junior, not senior. Senior's not the honorable one. Technically, but-
Well, shit, that's pretty cool. My dad's a third, so his name is Hugh William Gormley, and he's a boomer. So he's the TV at the time was like Lil Huey, so he got called Lil Huey. So his entire life he was just named after some fat retarded duck. So he hated that shit. So he goes by his middle name. Yeah, people just call him Will, bro. People have no idea. He signs his name Will. I'm pretty sure all of his legal documents are Will. So like, nobody knows that shit. So he hated that shit. Absolutely. But it's a title in Gaelic because my family is Scottish. So my name is Augustus Hugh Gormley, and the Hugh has been passed on for 12 generations. And then my son, in like a week, is going to be the 13th generation of Hugh Gormleys in America.
Dude, no offense, but the modern Scots are fucking pussies. Like
Dude,
in terms of their government,
no,
their government
for real.
like has so much.
I blame that
fucking-
shit on Britain, dude. Because
yeah.
there was a time where before
So
they were
much
conquered,
Britain,
that Scotland
dude,
was
so
great.
much.
Because if you look at historical like Roman, they're like, we went to Britain. He's like, these are the ugliest, stupidest fucking people I've ever seen. They live in the swamps. They suck. And then they got to fucking Scotland and they got pushed back. They built a fucking wall all the way across the entire island of Great Britain to divide Scotland from England. And all their maps are labeled wild men live in these parts. That's badass as fuck, dude. The old Scots, that's some wicked shit. So like my name in Gaelic translates to the great helmet of the clan of the Blue Spearmen. So the Hugh is the helmet that's the hereditary leader of the clan. So my dad, since my grandpa passed, is like the host of family shit. And that'll be my title when my dad passes, type shit.
Is it like this shit? What he pulled up?
Those are aliens.
I didn't think so, but
Nah. So like William Wallace from Braveheart. Like they painted them because the Blue Spearmen, they painted themselves blue. Real life, that movie about my family.
that
Because they painted themselves blue and told us some spears. You remember his big red-headed buddy? It's my ancestor for real.
Wow. Damn. I have not. I know I was just given blue ship. I have not seen Braveheart.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I even own it.
Great fucking movie.
It.
Oh, what? How long have you owned it and you haven't watched it? That's insane. It's a great fucking. It's long as fuck, but it's like prime Mel Gibson.
There are a lot of times where I want to get into a really great film and then I get stoned and then I'm like, I can't. Like, this is just too boring. You know, I think that kind of happened with Braveheart, because I remember the part where he walks into like the cabin and like finds all the dead people or like a dead body hanging or something like that.
It's like the beginning of the fucking movie.
Yeah, and then after that, I was like,
there's still more, like there's like 2 more hours of movie after that.
I'm like, damn, okay. I have seen some of like the fight scene. Fuck,
Yeah.
Let's pull up some of
the fight scenes. Give me fucking goosebumps to this day. His accent is pretty fucking on point.
We'll just watch a little bit of this since this is fucking.
Will you
9
not
minutes.
fight for Scotland? And modern Scots are pussies. I can't believe they're still like 100% entirely owned by Britain. That's some whack ass shit.
You want to turn this up?
So that old guy that just flashed by, he raped his wife. So the English instigated prima nocta when they started occupying Scotland, and that was the right of a noble of England to rape any Scottish wife on her wedding night so they could try to outbreed the Scots. And that's actually where the term fuck comes from. It stands for fornication under the crown of the king.
No
And
way.
it's the legal right of an English lord or noble to rape any Scottish woman on her wedding night.
No way.
And they never got rid of it, I bet. See if they ever took away prima nocta, dude. I want to know if English wankers still have the right to rape Scottish brides.
Let's pause that quick in the background.
P-R-I...
I can just...
P-R-I-M-A N-O-C-T-A. 2 different prima space nocta. Oh, now that's saying it's false.
Was it?
So I've been exposed. Braveheart had me thinking it was legit.
There's never such a thing as prima nocta, as far as we know.
That sounds like it was posted by a Brit, low key though. Actually, that was on Quora. I don't believe that.
There are a lot of loser British people online.
Dude, fucking straight up wankers, absolute wankers. I hate arguing with British people about like who won the revolution because you got beat by some fucking monkeys in the woods for real. That's all the 13 colonies was, bro. We was some unprepared, jungle fighting motherfuckers. Like even at a point in time where everybody's like. Its tactic was just line up and fucking shoot at each other.
Yeah.
Good old days.
Well, dude, I remember I read this book. What was it called? I don't fucking remember. It was basically about like the federalization of the U.S. I don't remember what the book was called. It was by Joseph J. Ellis. And in that one, he talked about like how like, you know, they had the revolution and then they actually did live in a state of anarchy for like a very short period. But then they had all this like, you know, because their land was valuable, right? Like they had, they had the French, they had like the Spaniards, like Spain, they had like all these big countries, these big governments, like threatening them, like they like if we don't federalize, because you know they had. You know, I kind of funny enough, like even though that they were fighting against the Europeans, like they eventually like ended up having good ties with them because like that their ideas became popular in Europe. So they're like, okay, maybe we should adopt some of this. Shit. So then that's the whole reason they got federalized, so they could have Britain at their back in case these other countries came and invaded. And you know, despite my political views, I can almost see an argument for it, right? Yeah. Like there is almost an argument to be said, like. You know, maybe it was better ultimately that like they did federalize and did like have this relationship because like ultimately you're I mean, in a way, I mean, eventually they inflicted violence by like increasing their land, right? Like, sure, but like,
but we're
the
gonna
same
take
thing
a
would
little
have
bit
happened.
more,
Exactly,
a little bit more,
exactly, and like, the same thing would have happened if the Spaniards or the French had taken it. You know,
absolutely, 100 fucking. And if Napoleon wasn't so weak at the point where he sold us,
you can finish that.
Nah, I'm Gucci. If Napoleon wasn't already like literally fucking beaten in war and exiled to an island at the point where he sold the entirety of the United States to us at like 5 cents on the acre, we'd be speaking French. Like, parlez-vous français? Je m'appelle Augustin. Like, it would be over. We would be I feel like we'd be a more sophisticated society.
Dude, the French are fucking like just disgusting.
They're wild. eating live snails and hairy fucking pussy.
Dude, like, I don't get what the fascination is with like French women. Every time I think of French women, I think of French women the same way I think of like
I think of a gypsy bitch that doesn't shower. Like a bitch that doesn't shave her armpits.
Yeah.
She shaves never.
Right.
She believes that the hair keeps her leg warm.
Yeah. They're kind of like Russians in a way where they seem to just be getting through life.
They just speak a prettier language. They just happen to not developed from a Cyrillic language that advanced them way further, I feel like. Being like on the coast too, not like being massively partly just like Siberia is also just a setback for Russia. You know, like the largest population density in Siberia is the Gulag. No other place in Siberia are people gathered up because it's not by choice. It sucks here and you're all going to be here. We have one giant stone building we can throw you all in the middle of 24/7 winter.
Yeah, the Gulag, fuck, dude. I read a book called The White Pill about like the rise and the fall of the Soviet Union, and just some awful accounts of like just the brutality of like what people had to go through, like eating their own children, like, you know, robbing from old ladies and killing them because they were so desperate for food. You know, just some of the most like atrocious acts of humanity committed. You know, like not even on the civilians, like, you know, the government for putting them in that situation, right?
Literally for orchestrating that position for them to be in.
Yeah,
and just entirely 100% at fault.
Yeah, and you know, like the Soviet Union, like the idea of communism having been worked through, like having been done in the Soviet Union and North Korea, it's just it's a testament of like the ignorance of human nature.
People are dumb as shit when they tell you that Russia was ever communist, or that North Korea is communist, or that even China is communist. There has never once been a true communist government on the face of the planet, except for maybe like Mesopotamia, which was the dawn of like currency, like trading shit, the barter system. Yeah, this for that, because everybody worked in some capacity, because it was like the dawn of intelligent man. It's like when the brain started wrinkling up type shit.
Yeah. You know, it's something me and Lolo always argue about. Is like,
I'm a communist for sure.
You're a communist.
I'm a communist. You're a fucking commie.
Wait, are you being serious? You are actually a communist?
I mean, I don't have like a political party, and I'm not like an activist for it, but I believe in communism. Like,
really?
Not that it can ever be like instated on a large scale, but my plan, like my life goal, my life work, and what has been probably since I was like 12, 13, when I started getting like homeschooled and just my parents let me like learn at my own pace. I read some shit about micronations and just went down that rabbit hole. And there's, I think, 10 recognized micronations in the United States, like on United States soil. And because basically it's what the Confederacy tried to do, because it's our constitutional right to secede from the Union. Like, that's just our right. If we feel like we can govern ourselves better, that's our right. So if I own the land, like if I buy the land rights, I can write my own Declaration of Independence and declare myself a micronation. And I feel like a commune would work with up to probably several hundred people. I don't know if I want that much people around me, because the idea is that I can fuck off in solitude, you know? I can buy a refurbished missile silo for like $50,000 in Nebraska. A rapper will spend $50,000 on a necklace. So if this rap shit works, I'm going to disappear immediately. I'm going to get fucking famous, make a shit ton of money, and I'm literally going underground. I'm gonna build a house. I studied architecture when I was in prison because it was fucking free to me in prison.
Yeah, damn.
And I studied architecture and graphic design, and so I'm gonna build my fucking house just right on top of that bitch. Because realistically, the United States government built it, so they're the only one who knows where it is. Inevitably, when the shit ceases to exist, whether that's in my lifetime or not, I've left something forever for my people to be safe in. And when the government dissolves, no one knows that shit's underneath the house. It's just an old house out in the middle of fucking nowhere, Nebraska. Dude, I hope the United States gets invaded. You know how long it would take them to get to us? I mean, realistically, we're probably the first strike. But
wait, what do you mean?
Because of the agriculture, destroy our food
You think they're going to
reserves.
strike our
Not
area
like
first?
Iowa specifically, but like the Corn Belt, where we have like agricultural hearts, the South. Yeah. I mean, like outside of like military stuff, if they were planning to invade, they do it like strategically in small amounts where there's higher populations. But
well,
we're still a world superpower. So
I would
that's
always
not gonna happen.
I would always think that like it would be New York or like you said, like military.
The coast.
Yeah, the
high
coast.
population areas
I
for
feel like
sure
that-
to like take away the largest amount of population. New York for sure.
Yeah,
New York
New
is
York
like the
would be-
high because they're all just living on top of each other.
Exactly.
Fucking everybody falls to their death. You just don't even have to hit them with nothing. Everybody's gonna die when they hit terminal velocity to the fucking concrete.
It's just people like fucking
9/11, but all over New York.
yeah. It's just people like keeping themselves in the cage, basically. But I am curious because, like, you say you're a communist. It's surprising to me. I would have thought you were more of like an anarchist type. Like, what do you define communism to be? And like, what is your view on that? I guess, or how that
I believe
society?
communism is like everybody holds a place in their society. You don't need a currency. Like as long as everybody holds a working place in society, obviously, except for like care of children or like elders, people who have disabilities who can't provide that work or can't provide that need to that society.
Okay,
they be taken care of because I'm not gonna like kill people's grandmas or like the retarded cousin.
Sure.
They obviously, and because there would be people who have the responsibility of them being the caretaker. You know, that's their fulfillment to society, caretakers. So just everybody working, and I mean, like, obviously, I feel like true communism wouldn't have the guidance of one sole person, but I feel like I would have to have some sort of guidance initially, like at the beginning, like as a community leader or something, and then eventually abstain that spot while I'm still alive and see how the community does without having one direct person that anybody answers to and just functioning as a society. Because end of the day, the land will just be mine. And if they don't want to fucking abide by the rules of my sovereign, my nation, like, get the fuck out.
Damn.
If you don't have the mindset of you want to work to make it work, then it's not gonna work. Humankind are very selfish. That's why I don't think it would work on large scale.
Yeah.
Only a couple hundred people, I feel like, would be able to sustain a real, true communist society.
So I guess this is always my question to people who like subscribe to that, like, because I agree, like, it's impossible because of like the
People are
selfishness
greedy,
of
bro.
human nature. But I think something to remember though. I read this book called The Virtue of Selfishness by Ayn Rand, and it actually talks about selfishness like in a positive light. Like, say you have this instance, like, you know, you're like, not to be like, you know, whatever, but like you're with your family, you and your family, like you, they're like, okay, we're gonna kill one of your family members. Like you know, I would hope that you would be.
I got some motherfuckers that can go.
Maybe not. But if you're that kind of person who, like, I don't know, like if me and my fiance were like on the ground and somebody had a gun, if you had a gun and you were like, hey, I'm gonna kill one of you, I would like beg to like be killed. Yeah. And like that is in a way selfish, because the alternative is
She's got to live with that for the rest of her life.
Well,
like experiencing you getting killed.
Exactly. There's that aspect too. But like, you don't want to live a life without her. Yeah. The same that she doesn't. So like, that is a selfish act in a sense. but it's also like a pot that you like you're doing the right moral thing. Like I think there's something like if you're taking like
that's the moral side of the selfishness, and then the immoral selfishness is fucking kill her. I want to live.
I mean, I don't even know if you can necessarily say if it's immoral or moral. I mean, you don't know their relationship. You don't know what she's putting through. I mean, I think the problem,
the gray side of the coin.
You know, in that book, they actually talk about gray thinking because they talk about like they talk about like how like black and white thinking is actually necessary to live it. Like she's an objectionist, or she subscribes to objectivism, which there are some things I like about it, but I think overall it's still like similarly to communism. There's like an authoritarian edge to it, where it's like we are like somebody's gonna come in and take away your rights.
That doesn't want to abide by that.
Sure.
Eventually.
I mean, not even in terms of like abiding, right? Because I think a big part of what distinguishes me as an anarchist from people who are communists is like I don't believe in the collective. I don't believe in the idea that like we are all part of this thing that like needs to oil like a machine. I believe in the idea of like capitalism and competitiveness, and like, you know, if you like, I think the best way to give people like resources and like improve their lives is through capitalism, through the free market. Like, you know, and people are gonna get screwed in that, right? Like
absolutely,
that's
inevitably.
That's the law of nature.
That's just society. That's gonna happen to everybody at some point in time. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's definitely like fuck society. I could go and live in this fucking hole by myself with my family, and I'd be cool too. But I do like community. I like living in a community.
Yeah.
I like
and anarchism isn't like
individuals, and even not necessarily like off the rip being like a commune or like a communist nation. Like I'd open it up to my friends first, like my family, people who I know immediately. Well, I mean, shit, like long term, like I said, this shit mine.
Well, but that's, I mean, that's anarchism.
Yeah.
Like there's a natural hierarchy.
Yeah.
Your family is going to come before whatever jackass is living in San Diego,
whatever
California.
Cocksucker that said he's a communist. Some douchebag that's tired of fucking paying rent.
Whatever gay is surviving off my tax dollars.
Whatever leech sucking off the system.
Whatever one of Trump's deplorables.
Yeah, fuck, dude.
Shit. What are your thoughts on Trump? How do you feel?
I like him because he speaks his mind and stands on what he says. I said that earlier. But I don't like him like personally as my president. I fucking really didn't like any of the candidates, to be honest. But I'm a 7-time tried, 2-time convicted felon, so I don't have the fucking right to vote.
Oh, that's right.
Nor like I do have political views, and I would like to see the nation go in a way that's positive for everybody. But everybody has different views, so it's very hard to manage, especially just with the size of the United States.
Exactly.
Because opinions differ left and right. Like, it's fucking seasonings. Open up a spice cabinet and pick an opinion on what the politics are. But I mean, that's why I just want to buy my own land and fuck off, because I can ignore what's going on in the United States, because I just kind of been doing that. Fuck, dude, I don't watch the news for real. I pay attention to politics through comedians and podcasts.
You know what?
I did watch Kill Tony speak at the Trump rally.
Oh, that was. You know, I'm not. Yeah, let's. I've already played it a million times. Yeah, let's fucking do it. I am by no means a fan of Trump. However, I am a fan of Tony Hinchcliffe. And
I do like Tony. Tony's fucking hilarious.
Tony is hilarious. I did think that this was great.
See, you can tell he's an intelligent person, because there's people who are so intelligent that they sound gay. There's a certain tone of voice where you hit a certain IQ.
That's
and
hilarious.
Tony's got it. Cat Williams got it too.
Yeah.
You sound like a saucy black man.
You want to turn it up a little bit?
Turn into one of the most demented cities, one of the greatest downfalls I've ever seen, and that is where the other candidate worked for 2 decades, and it's absolutely wild to see. And in Texas,
I do personally prefer Trump to Kamala. I think Kamala would have been a fumble.
Where are my proud Latinos?
Yeah.
Because
tonight?
I mean, just have like how obviously
what I mean? It's wide
Biden
open.
was
There's so
not
many of
like
them.
there.
It's absolutely
You know how very obviously he was a political puppet
Believe it or
for
not,
his
people,
party.
I welcome migrants
I don't
to
feel
the
like
United
any
States of
endorsement,
America with
regardless of
open
if he had
arms.
done
Yeah,
it,
pause that.
whether
And by open
whether he had
arms, I
done it
mean-
like pre-dementia, would have been good at all. I just he was very obviously a puppet. Like he had no idea where the fuck he was, who the fuck he is half the time. He told a bunch of fucking Marines that his son fucking died of in like Fallujah. His fucking son died of a brain tumor in Maryland. And his other one just smokes crack. Hunter Biden rolling the pookie on Christmas.
Good old. Dude, that shit was wild. I remember. Didn't they find? Yeah, they found coke in the White House.
And then they have a picture of him later in a car smoking crack. He's got
really?
he's got like the bubble in his fucking
Jesus.
mouth. I think it was a picture that he took of himself, or like someone who was smoking crack with took the picture of him. Is this like a close up of Hunter Biden smoking crack?
Yeah. Well, and you know, I think something like Hunter Biden getting pardoned by his dad, I think an act like that. I don't necessarily. Not even necessarily like I don't disagree with that. Like, I mean, I don't think like people should go to jail for doing drugs or buying hookers or what. As long as they're of age and consenting, you know, I don't think that you should go to jail for that.
Or like with the drugs until it's like the extent of harming or impending on other people's lives.
Well, I mean, my argument for that is like I wouldn't even say it's not the drug. I mean, it's like if somebody drinks a gallon of milk and then goes and kills someone. It's like it's not the milk.
They have a degenerative mind state as it is, but the drug definitely makes it easier for them to access that. Come here.
I don't know. I do see that argument. I just don't really see a correlation because I don't think it's not like a 101 measurement, right? Like I don't think everybody that takes methamphetamine to a certain point is going to go out and kill someone or go crazy.
I've met some damn good tweakers in my life.
I take Adderall.
Some of them are very stand-up people, and they just have that drug of choice. Like that's their demon to deal with, because it's more addictive at some point than it is fun for most of them, for sure.
Sure.
Because most of them that I've met were in prison, and they were only sober because you fucking have to be. I mean, like, unless you got good money or like a good connection, you got to be sober in there.
Yeah.
Or unless you like smoking rat poison, K2.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I mean, some of those fucking prisons. I mean, they get drugs in there. You know, it does. I mean, you have experience, I guess, but like that's what
craziest thing that ever like got found was like someone fucking dropped like their fucking fully loaded rig of heroin on the yard, and like in prison that's got to be like a fucking $1,000, right? Because like a gram of weed will run you like $100 in prison, $120 in like commissary, or someone puts it on their books or something.
That's
like
wild.
drugs it automatically goes up. Like a 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of printer paper sprayed with K2 will go to like $1,500. Jesus. I know a dude who bought a house and 3 cars, serving like a 10-year mandatory, had all that shit when he got out. Just off of trapping K2 in Clarinda.
That's crazy, dude. That's a wild thing in itself, right? It's like the rare occurrence where somebody actually profits from doing prison time.
No, dude, for real. Because I mean, like he's like straight
it
up
benefits them
straight
somehow.
up
They're
dirty
like,
tweaker degenerate. Like I was in the halfway house with him too. Like after I got out of prison, he was still in the halfway house because he was very obviously back on the shit.
Sure, yeah.
And he was mad as fuck. He was like, "Why won't these people let me drive none of my fucking cars? I got 3 fucking cars." He's like, "Why can't I fucking drive none of my fucking cars?" I'm like, "Cause you're bugging, dude. You're toast."
Yeah. Well, I think part of the problem too with when you like claim that it's like this drug does XYZ, I think I would argue that a lot of the reason why it goes that way is actually because of society. Because society has these guardrails, and they're like, hey, these are the things that are okay. These are the things that are not okay. If you're drunk, yeah, you might be boisterous, but like I'm not gonna consider you like a dangerous society necessarily. I mean, unless you're
depending on how like you're talking.
Sure,
because
but
it's like you're just loud because you're drunk and you're just still like having like normal shit, or like a little bit exaggerated, like laughing hella hard, or
but if somebody was doing that drunk and like, I mean, I don't drink personally, but like, assuming you're a part of the normal population, right? like you're going to find like you're not going to like stop drinking because of that.
Yeah.
You're not going to go home and be like, oh, I'm not drinking beer anymore because you're still going to partake in that, right?
Yeah.
If you saw
that's what you choose to do.
Exactly. If you saw a guy shooting up heroin and then he did the same thing, you're never going to try heroin. Like, I mean, that you probably already have a predisposition into because of society to not go that way.
Thanks, Reagan.
Thanks who?
Reagan.
Oh yeah, Reagan, Nixon, all of them. You gotta love it.
Drugs are bad. Flood the hoods with crack.
But I think those things have, like, I think that's the negative impact.
Yeah.
I don't don't care what drug it is. I don't care if it's fentanyl. I don't care if it's heroin. I like meth, whatever. I don't get out of here. Get out of here. But I don't think that the problem is the fact that the drug exists. I think it's the problem that people aren't accepting of people being able to choose what they put in their body. You know, there's a great example, Carl Hart. I don't know. Have you heard of him?
No idea.
Pull this motherfucker up. He is a user of heroin and methamphetamine. And he is also
he looks successful as shit, though.
That's what I'm saying. He's a Harvard college professor,
like someone who does heroin and meth at all.
Exactly.
So there should be some things that you all should know about me beyond what was said. I grew up in the hood in Miami, in a poor neighborhood.
How often does he
came
like
from
use?
A community in which drug use was prevalent.
He uses each like
I kept
couple
a gun
times a
in
week.
my car.
So he's not like doing it. That's the thing. He's not doing it all the time.
He's not like a habit.
He's not waking up in the morning and shooting up heroin.
Yeah, it's not like a habit. He's more like like afternoon. He's like, damn, I'm finna cook this spoon. Just randomly, like the urge hits him.
I think he snorts it.
Oh shit.
Yeah. No, I mean he treats it the same as like a beer.
Yeah.
I know.
Like have a beer when I get off work. I'll snort some heroin when I get home today.
Exactly.
How in the world did you get from there?
Addiction is definitely not 100% mindset, but definitely heavily mindset and fluid, like influence. Like your mindset is a big part of it because people will always say you can't get someone to stop if they don't want to stop, and that's true.
It's your mindset. Pause this, please. It's your mindset and your background.
Yeah,
essentially, it's like.
There's got to be like a support system to an extent. Like if your family doesn't fuck with you, it's going to be hard for you to stop doing whatever you're doing, using whatever you're using, and get right, even if you want to.
Exactly.
Because you don't have other people who are like also wanting that for you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I think that's
because like if the only people you hang out with is some tweakers, you ain't never finna stop tweaking.
Yeah, well, and kind of related to this, like that's a big problem with homelessness too. Is like that, like the people. Like statistically, who most likely fall into that are people who lose their entire support system. Yeah. Like people in their family just die and they have no friends or whatever, and then they're just like, okay, I'm just gonna slip into homelessness.
Or like the one family member who checked up on them passed away, and no one had like anything, any type of reason. It usually is that lack of the support system. There's definitely some people who just prefer that shit though, because because of the drugs, because of what they choose to use, because their family won't let them use that if they're with them, or their friends won't let them use that if they're with them. But that's definitely fewer and far in between than people who are just genuinely down on their dick.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucking wild, man. I don't know. I wish society was more catered toward that, like more. I don't know, like maybe not even catered, but like more open to the idea that like people can just use drugs.
Yeah,
and like they can just make their own decision, and that they're not necessarily going to fucking go out and kill people or whatever the fuck people think. I
agree.
Happen.
Yeah, dude. Like people who go out and do some crazy shit because they try something or they do something already have the potential to do that crazy shit. It's like potential energy. And the drug sets it in motion. It allows them to access that fully.
Well, exactly.
Or even not fully, but like more than they usually do. Because some people can be 100% a degenerate without the drug.
Yes, exactly. Well, and I think that's always kind of my point too. Is like, if there wasn't these drugs available, they would find whatever.
Yeah, the drugs don't make them a degenerate.
If there's
they was already a degenerate.
If they can find a gallon of cleaning chemical and just huff the fuck out of it, like they'll do it.
Yeah,
they'll do it, man.
Dude, people would steal Sharpies from the COs in prison, like walk around with a fucking Sharpie up to their fucking
Really?
Yeah, people are down bad.
That's crazy, man.
The K2 was the craziest though. It was like much more accessible. They cracked down at some point, and like started photocopying all of our fucking mail, so we didn't get like anything that was actually in the outside world. And that was when it was like the hardest to get anything at any point in time. And then they started doing like in-person visits again. They started people working like outside of the fence again because the grass was growing, winter was over, weather was nice. So then it just all started back up again because the shit don't stop. Yeah. Gotta get it somehow. And there was definitely like there was a guy who worked there for a while. I ain't even gonna say who he is or like nothing, 'cause I think he still works there, but he's like one of his dad is like one of the big homies like in the world, and he got a job working there, and it was just like be like 40 fucking deep, obviously in violation of like prison policy, and he'd be like kicking it with us. we're drinking like yaks out of pitchers and eating shitty fucking homemade pizza at the park benches in the yard, and he's eating and drinking it with us. He knows some of these people, like he grew up with some of these fucking people, like calls some of these people uncle or like his cousins type shit, like all of it's crazy.
That's wild. I think it would be hard not to drink in prison, because like that's probably one of the most easily accessible ones. You don't think so?
I never drank in prison.
Really?
Not one. Actually, I did once. Oh, so the one time that I did was when I was in IMCC in Coralville for like processing. So it's where everybody goes from county jail to get like distributed out to whatever prison they end up serving their time in. Mm-hmm. And it was during the time of COVID. So that shit was like fucking ridiculous. And the only reason that I was allowed to go to IMCC from like county jail was because of how many fucking people died in Coralville. They only have like 700 population.
Look that up, please.
They only have like a 700 capacity population. Man, I couldn't find nothing about this because I was trying to look it up after I got out, and I was trying to have people look it up.
Let's just give it a try anyways.
It took me.
Go to Google Blue. Yeah, hit Coralville COVID deaths.
Yeah.
What was it, like 2020 probably? 2020, 2021?
2020. Yeah.
I guess
the numbers that I was hearing.
We should have specified the prison.
This should be it. That said Iowa.
Well, but
that's for all of the prisons.
Yeah,
now. Well, it's IMCC, the Iowa Medical Classification Center, because they have. You see that 4,000 something positive cases.
Yeah, I mean, I know you were there, so you could probably attest to this.
Yeah,
but
I don't know if the numbers are verified, but they have like a 700 around population that they can like house people, because they also house prisoners who are like full-time disabled, like they're like old as fuck, serving out a life sentence or on like life support or some shit. So they also run a medical facility there. Okay. So they have a small population, the smallest one. So they have 700 people. People were telling me when I got there that 400 something people had died, like inmates had died. Oh, wow. Because I was sentenced after a week of being in county, and then I sat there for 2 more months, just in limbo, waiting for people to fucking die of COVID, because everything was shut down and quarantined. So when they finally started moving people around, I went there, and I was in a cell by myself for 58 days, and I only got 20 minutes out every other day to shower and like get on the kiosk and contact my case manager or whatever, shit like that. That shit sucked. So that was the only time I got drunk, because they made good food. I mean, like, they're serving old and dying people. Like, they make good fucking food, dude. So I had fresh baked fucking bread, hella yeast. They gave us fresh fucking fruit. They also gave us fruit out the can with hella fucking sugary syrup and just trash bags for our fucking room, for our little trash can. So I just had fucking good hooch. And I probably did that more to stop myself from going fucking nuts.
Well,
more than anything, I'm like, I got to feel something other than how I feel right now.
Yeah, well, that was what I was saying. Like, why I don't like. I think I would maybe go back to drinking if I went to prison.
But after that, I didn't. I smoked K2 a couple of times, but
that's crazy.
Dude, it was the instances where like me and my cellies were having it sent into us, so I got to test it and make sure that it is K2. So we took like turns and testing the product when it came in, and I fucked up the one time, and the last time that I did it, I fucked up, and I like they measure it in like barcodes because you have your prison ID and it's got the barcode for your like information and shit. So it's that much, of paper. And
that's great.
I picked like a half barcode of the wettest fucking paper I could find. Like it was so wet you could almost see through it. I folded it up, I put it on my little batteries, and I fucking threw the pen cap. And in my mind, how I remember it was that like I sat down on the stool and I started trying to convince my buddy Jordan out of his bottom bunk because there was like no way I was climbing up there, dude. I'm fucking ripped. What happened in reality was that I never even made it to the stool. I was just hovering in the cell. Like I was squatting above the stool. And then I just fell forward, bang, hit my fucking face on the middle bunk, fell back, bang, hit my head on the fucking cabinet, and then just laid down. I started locking up and like seizing.
Oh, Jesus.
I had an episode, and it was like 5 minutes of me just locked up, quiet on the floor, unplugging everybody's shit because I'm fucking spazzing out, having a seizure. And our other celly, Billy, was like, yeah, I can handle this. He's like, I've had other cellies fall out. It's okay. He's like, at least he's quiet. And then I started screaming bloody fucking murder because he was like, Gus, bro, you got to sit up, man. And in my head, I heard, Gus, this is a fucking setup. And so I started shrieking, dude. I started going into like I was already like locked up on the floor, and I just started. It was nuts as fuck. And it was during count time. So they were like, I did it right after they came through and scanned. So they knew we were there. So I was safe to do it. They were somewhere else. And I did not get up for the rest of the day. I managed to get up in my bunk. And when I woke up and I like came out of it, I was straight just out of it still. Like, but I was able to get up into my bed and I stayed there for the rest of the day. And then when I woke up, we had sold all that shit. Because people were walking around like, damn, who smoked that shit during count? They're like, who fell out? Did they get caught? And motherfuckers found out it was me, and I was like the biggest person over on our unit. They're like, that shit made him hit the floor. I need that. It's like the junkie syndrome. They like find out someone OD'd on your crack, and now they want that shit.
Oh my god, yeah.
It was bad. So I woke up and we sold like fucking 5-6 sheets of fucking K2. So we were sitting on fucking like $7,000-$8,000. We were waiting
Holy fuck.
Just in like commissary, hygiene, clothes, shit like that. Had most of it put on our books and shit.
Damn,
it's the hustle, dude. That was the last time I ever smoked. That was too much. I was like, it's y'all turn forever now. I'm like, I can't do that again.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that's so destructive about the prison system is like it just ends up creating the same environment that's trying to combat. You know what I mean?
And it's completely free.
Yeah,
just to people. And I mean, like, dude, the worst part about prison for me was like not being able to be in constant contact with the people that I fucked with, like my family, my friends, people I was with every day in the world. That was like the only bad thing about prison for me. I was eating DiGiorno's pizza and ice cream and playing Skate 3 on an Xbox One and like Minecraft and shit.
You should be a spokesperson.
Dude, they make it easy. No, I'm very much against it because they make it easy. They make it sweet. Fuck, dude. They make it easy to, even without illicit aspects of it, like contraband or drugs or anything like that. They make it a very easy place to be at. Nice. And that's the worst part about it. That was a fucking A10 shot, dude. Beautiful. Nothing but fucking net. Yeah, no, dude, it's horrible because they make it easy. And I mean, that's only as far as like Fort Dodge. And actually, My buddy is still in like the prison system. He got a year left on his mandatory. He got moved to Rockwell, which is like the only minimum security prison. They used to have other minimum camps that were like in proximity to the medium max prisons that they had. They shut down all of them except for Rockwell up near Fort Dodge. And it's supposed to be easy. And he says it's still easy, like it's sweeter. But the dude that they brought in to manage Fort Dodge prison was some fucking jackass from New Mexico that ran New Mexican prison. So we treated an Iowa prison like we were like New Mexican prisoners. And that just wasn't the case. 64%, I think, of the population of Fort Dodge when I was there was sex offenders. Like, those are not hard to manage people, bro. They are all some bitches.
Yeah, for real.
They are all some bitches, bro. So like, he came in and he just started treating it like a New Mexican prison. He's like, I'm gonna build a fence through the yard. He's like, nobody's coming outside today. And these Iowa fucking people on the board of the prisons ate that shit the fuck up. And now he's the deputy director of the Iowa prisons. He was here for less than a year before he got that job.
Jeez.
And now he's just gonna make it bad for everybody everywhere. So hopefully prison will start getting bad again and it'll start be a deterrent. Nah, dude, it's crazy because I went to juvie in 2018, and when I went to prison in 2020, there were 7 motherfuckers that I was in juvie with there. And then hella people that were just younger than me in general, and I was 19.
Damn.
So if it's a fucking hard place to be at instead of a place where all their homies at and they can kick it and do stupid shit,
yeah,
it's gonna be harder there. One of my homies, because they have like school, you can go there, finish high school, they'll make you do it if you don't want to do it. And one of my Asian homies, he was sitting there, they were trying to like wake him up, get him out of his bed for school. They're like, come on, Mal, you gotta go to school. And he's not having it, dude. He's, I guess, just firm on sleeping in, bro. He's like first generation like Cambodian, like his family fled the Civil War and came here type shit. And he's like, I gangster Asian Crip, I no need no fucking math. He's like, I don't want to go to fucking school. He's, fuck you, let me sleep. Asian and shit.
That's funny.
It's crazy that he said math too.
I have an uncle who's Cambodian, so I grew up with half Cambodian cousins.
Hell
and
yeah.
just one time, he was at my wedding the first time I got married, and we basically my cousins had me like put in my trunk for some reason, his Jack Daniels, and then we like the night before I got married, we like went to a strip club and like I lost my car. It was a crazy night. But
sounds awesome.
Yeah, no, it was awful. But I like in the morning, they're like, my cousin's like calling me. He's like, hey, my dad needs his Jack. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning. And he's like, oh, I need my Jack. I need my Jack.
That dude wakes up and fucks Jack Daniels and his Cheerios for breakfast, dude. He's getting at it. He's got like the good for your heart, high cholesterol deterring Cheerios. He just fucking lathers that shit in Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
That's a bad motherfucker. My dad's a fan of wild turkey, and like he was in the military, so he's got some demons, you know. And I didn't ever he hit it really well like my entire childhood, but I was like 15, 16 something. I came out of my room to piss in the middle of the night. It's like fucking 3 a.m, and he's just fucking canned, sitting at his work desk watching like memes on YouTube.
Yeah,
with like a half empty bottle of wild turkey next to him, just going to town. He was having a great time. I left his ass alone. One time I tripped over some shit in the hallway because he got like the night terrors. One time I tripped over some shit in the hallway, and out of a dead sleep, he upped the fucking pistol on me, told me, you better watch where you're going, boy. I'm like, dude, what? Like, I'll piss out my bedroom window from here on out. Nah. Never catch me out in the house at night again, dude. Spooky motherfucker. Fuck that. I'm not trying to die over a full bladder. Yeah. Pissed all over myself when I got shot. That's unfortunate. Worse, he shoots me in the bladder and it just starts fucking spraying all over.
That'd be
awful. Yeah, it'd
be awful, but it'd be kind of funny too.
He's either upped firearms or threatened to up firearms on me several times. But that's just a boomer who was in the military, had a hard time.
Yeah, people be like that, man. People just go like, they can't deal with it, man. Mm-hmm. Like they take every conflict that comes with them like very similarly to how they were in the military. Like there's a mentality to it, right? Even the ones that like weren't necessarily like super fucked up, right? Like they even if they're not with all the military, like even if they have moved away from that ideology, right? Like they just are a certain way.
Yeah. And I mean, like he talks about like Vietnam, which we pulled out of in like 73, 74. And I know he wasn't old enough unless he was going over like 13, 14. So he's talking about shit that he did over there in the 80s. Like 10 years after we officially, because come on, that's the only war America lost. Do you think we're really gonna lose it? Of course, they had people over there a decade later killing them in the jungle, bro. I don't doubt it for a second. Because he talks about some really real shit like that he's experienced that I can tell he's not, like lying about, because he changes. People who talk about those experiences and they like zone in, like they're reliving it.
Yeah. Well, I even think it might just be simple as like. Kind of, what I was talking about before, like how like ideas in America became popular in that country. I think something probably very similar happened in Vietnam, or there was like a capitalistic, advantage to like becoming a tourism spot, which it basically is now. I mean, I'm sure there was like still like U.S. warfare post Vietnam. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Man, he's talking about like actively paratrooping behind enemy lines and slaying the Viet Cong.
Jesus. I want to read this book on Vietnam coming up. I read this book called Inferno by Max Hastings.
That's a good fucking book.
You've read it?
I've read that book before.
My man.
My mom's a librarian. She recommends me some good fucking reads.
That is a great book. Fantastic.
That is a good fucking book.
It's like 650 pages long, like just the main text. So it took me like a good 2 months to read it. It's a doozy, but so interesting.
Yeah, it'll take me a while to finish the book now. Yep. Of course, he's looked it up. Duh. How do you think he ordered it? Barnes and Nobles, baby.
I did actually give him Barnes. We got in person, but I did actually give him Barnes and Nobles.
That's always the best way to go, because then you can look at the Legos too. Barnes and Noble's Lego section is primarily Harry Potter, but still very, very nice. They got the big expensive sets though, like the several $100s. Build it once, put it on a shelf sets.
Yeah,
which my fucking girlfriend loves. She fucking
really.
We have so many fucking Lego flowers. I mean, I like them because I'm dumb as shit. I have a massive box somewhere just still full of like Lego and Bionicle parts and shit that I know I'm finna bust out someday.
Damn, I feel like the little kid in me died, and like I just I don't know if I can ever see myself.
Mine's definitely Legos. In a coma because I haven't taken that shit out for some years, but I know I've got them, and I'm sentimental about them. So like I keep them because if I don't play with them ever again, my son will be able to play with them someday.
Adult line. Are we about to pull up some
Lego board? This is what he was talking about earlier, dude. You can't pull this shit up.
No Lego board.
Adult variety is triggering him. I want to get the bonsai garden, like the little. Yeah, that one's cool. I have like the bonsai tree. It is, dude. I always have a good zen time when I'm sitting there building some Legos. So my girlfriend's like, "You want to build this with me?" And then she falls asleep, and I fucking listen to my podcast and I build Legos. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I remember.
She hates podcasts, so she'll never hear this.
We should bring her on next time.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe you'll like it if you're a guest.
I'm like slowly getting her, like putting her on to Kill Tony, like getting her more acceptable to it, because she like hates his voice. So she's like,
is that Kill Tony that you're fucking watching? Fuck, I can't stand his voice. I can hear it through your AirPod.
But she's slowly getting, because she thinks the guests are funny, like the regulars are funny.
Yeah,
so she's getting more into it because she wants to go to Texas for her birthday.
Nice.
So she's like talking about Houston. And I'm like, what about Austin? Like, we could go to Austin. I'm like, I got a couple of buddies there who make music, and Kill Tony's there, so we could. You really think you're funny, woman? I'll sign you up.
I will say though, good luck getting in. Every time I've looked to get tickets,
I went to the website, and the only tickets they have available right now for like their next upcoming shows are virtual tickets, like for their live stream tickets.
What? Really?
Yeah. Dude.
Jesus.
Dude. They have like $180 package that includes like the live stream, but then it's like some merch shit.
Like that's insane. As no,
That's crazy.
I'm gonna wait a month and listen to this shit on a Monday night, like I always do. I will not fucking pay.
I'll take it 2 weeks late.
I'm glad I didn't pay for the Paul and Tyson fight because that would have been insane. Fuck paying for shit.
I heard that I didn't watch it, but I heard that the whole experience was just fucked
awful.
up. Yeah.
Buffering Mike Tyson's ass. Buffering. Jake Paul wins. Mike Tyson gnawing on his fucking gloves like a giant retarded baby. He's teething.
Well, nobody got KO. Like nothing even happened.
And I mean, like,
I
you know,
watch
I didn't watch it. I didn't go back and watch it for. Like, he got his money from it, and that was obviously the motivation.
The slap was the most entertaining. That was the peak.
I'm just disappointed in Mike Tyson, not because he didn't beat the shit out of him, but because you did a lot of woofing.
Why is he even doing this in the first place?
No,
I think
he's got enough money. He's got his fingers in so many industries. He's been successful since he was a fucking teenager.
Dude, he could quit everything and just do his podcast.
Yeah, he could Bill Gates that shit. Just quit everything and live comfortably until he dies.
It's almost like an ego thing. It's almost like an ego thing. Like this bratty internet kid just like got under his skin.
Fucking twink ass Disney Channel kid got Mike Tyson out of pocket, bro.
Damn.
And that's what I'm disappointed by, because he, like, not that he didn't, but because he couldn't. Like, damn, you really acted like you could, and you didn't go in there and beat. Because Jake Paul is such a. I don't think I could beat him, but he's such a pussy.
Yeah.
Like, he's just such a whiny internet personality that people. He's just been fucking slowly sliming his way through different aspects that fit whatever career he wants to have or whatever personality that he wants to have and wants to fill out.
Sure. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. Like, he can fight.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Like, he can definitely do that. But, like, yeah, I agree. His personality is very...
He's not a likable person.
Yes. Well, and all the scams and all the shit that he's been involved in, it's just I don't find him likable.
I wouldn't need any of that, any of the dishonest lying shit. I wouldn't need any of that just to dislike him. His personality is very slimy, dude. Yeah. It's like a fucking poison dirt frog.
I don't know. I do sometimes watch the Impulse, like Logan. I don't like him either, but he's at least
has good guests.
Yeah.
I've watched it when he has guests that I like and guests that I've watched.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I ignore him completely, as I have been for my entire life. I was in middle school or maybe high school when they started getting like big on YouTube. I completely ignored that shit. That shit was so lame to me. That shit was so lame to me. I was like, I just want to smoke weed and commit vandalism.
Well, yeah, it was just them like trying to get kids to like spend money in their parents' credit cards.
Hell yeah,
that was essentially what the entire
Look at them, fucking rich as shit.
That was like what their entire gambit was, basically.
Fucking rich as shit, dude, for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, shit, we gotta wrap this up. I got a virtual meeting here in a few minutes, but what can people expect coming forward, or what do you just dropped some stuff, right?
Yeah, I just dropped. Me and my producer happen to have both been born on December 3rd, 2000. So we dropped. We dropped an entire project that he produced and that I did the vocals and stuff for. We got, I think, one feature on there, but we're planning on dropping a deluxe for that at some point in time, or maybe we'll just drop on our next birthday because we dropped last year too. Me and my brother Nato the Prophet, who's someone I went to school with, was my homie most of my like school career. He moved out to Montana. He makes music and shit too. We're doing an entire collab project.
Nice.
That we're not done with yet. I think we've got probably 16, 17 songs though. We're aiming for 20 something songs. So that'll be dropping sometime next year, earlier probably. I have a song coming out in a couple days. Just something I've been sitting on for a while, and I haven't released music all month. I like to keep it consistent, so people, because I have people that will hit me up and ask me when I'm dropping shit, just because they like listening to the new music, hearing how I've like progressed. Even like people who've known me for a long time, they're like, when are you gonna do some shit? But then, the biggest thing that I've got cooking right now is that I locked in a feature with Booby Ludovelli. You know who that is?
No.
He's not big by any means. He's probably like a C-list celebrity, realistically. But he's got a couple whole albums with Puya and did work with like Ramirez and Shakewell and them and shit. So like Underground Florida. And I've been listening to his shit since high school. So this is like my only real dream that I had for music when I set out, like started rapping and shit. So I'm achieving that now. That's fucking
awesome,
huge
man.
as shit to me. And I'll probably sit on it for fucking for forever till I like get the money so I can like promote it the right way and go about it in the right way. I still gotta pay the producer for the beat and shit. So he's gonna do like the mixing and mastering on my part too, because he's Booby's executive producer too. Nice. So that's like my biggest tap in right now with like real industry shit, because I actually
oh wow,
I tattooed like his like brand on my leg before. I literally did it like 8 hours before going to the show in Colorado.
Damn, that's painful.
It was pretty fucking, I don't know. The worst is my knuckles. That was the worst thing I've ever done to myself, was my knuckles, just because it's right on the bone. The leg wasn't too bad. My belly hurt. Says Suni Boi. Yeah, dig. For the people who are confused, how to spell
the belly
my name.
button the sun?
Hell yeah, I was gonna do a sun, but dude, giving this to myself, I almost threw up. So I did not do the sun. I didn't do anything extra. I got the letters finished.
What are you, the fucking Teletubbies?
Hell yeah, dude! All purpled out. You see, with the skis on.
You do have the Riz, man. You do have the Riz.
The color coordination.
Man, thanks for coming through.
Absolute honor, dude.
We'll do it again for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good night.
Peace out, y'all.